Welcome back to Out with the New and In with the Old. Today, we're going to do a quick pre-purchase inspection. Give you an idea what you should be looking at. Before you go look at one, car, truck, or motorcycle, if you can, try to run the VIN. It'll show you ownership history usually, and I typically stay away from something that's been owned by a whole lot of people. Four owners, that's not too bad. But when you start getting around eight, nine, usually by then the car has been neglected. It's just typical. So, get the VIN history, get the owner history, get the mileage history. Twice recently, I bought a motorcycle. I've had mileage come up way over what it was advertised at. And I'm not talking a little over. I'm talking like one was 26,000 more miles. I guess it's easier to change things around on a bike. And another one was about 40,000 miles over. It was an old motorcycle, and the guy was surprised when I told him about it. Said he probably got, taken when he bought it, but the funny thing is, I went and looked at that bike. He's still trying to sell it, and he's still advertising it with the mileage that he was advertising it at. So who knows? Anyway, we're going to go look at a 2013 Mazda, which is mine actually, but we'll use it as an inspection test bed. After you've run your search, and you think you want to go look at it, one of the first things I like to do is I like to stand in front and stand behind it and just look and make sure it's straight. Make sure it doesn't look like it's leaning one way or another. And I mean, also look at the body, look at the panels, make sure they're not extremely awkward, like tight on one side and loose on the other, like, signs it's been in a wreck. Also, and you won't see it here because we're in the shade, but when you're parked, try to get it out in the sunlight, and see if you see any panels that don't match up. That's another sign of body work. It's not always a bad sign. Sometimes it just may have got a minor dent and they repainted a panel, but you want to look and you want to check if you do see a discolored or different color panel. Look at the gaps around that panel. If you're still wanting to keep looking at it after that, the next step is get down low. Get on the ground with a flashlight and point it underneath and look and make sure there's no rust under there. I mean, a little bit of surface rust is okay, but I mean rust that looks like it's been eaten away for a while, and like it's been driven on treated roads and never cleaned underneath. They got car washes now that you can drive through and they actually wash the underneath of the car. And I hear they work pretty good. I usually just take a sprayer and do it myself with good luck. But always look underneath. Make sure the main components, suspension components, brake lines, pain in the butt to fix brake lines. And if you have to pay somebody to do it, you're going to pay a lot. Especially with ABS and everything and all the bleeding procedures involved. And just check that out. Make sure there's no rust on key components. You feel satisfied after that, you can take a flashlight, and on some cars, especially this one, you should be able to see the brake pads and how worn they are. You get bring a good light with you, and do not go at night, and do not go in the rain to look at a car. You can't look at one right that way. Okay, so, and look at your tires. Make sure all four are the same, or at least in pairs, and they're in good shape. And these are all things, I mean, if the tires aren't, you got some negotiation room there. Check your windshield. Another negotiation point. But you better know the cost of a windshield, because some of these cars have really expensive windshields. Next, go under the hood. I can't do anything, and I can show you where the oil is, but I'm kind of working one-handed here. Oil, pull that dipstick out. Don't wipe it off, just look at it. See how clean it is. You should be able to see the hash marks on the dipstick. It should be, a light amber color. It shouldn't be dark black or, have any kind of anything in it. It should be nice, clear. Even if it's regularly changed, even if it's at 3,000 or 4,000 miles, it should still be pretty clear. If it isn't, it means they've neglected oil changes. And this is a manual transmission car, but typically a transmission dipstick will be back in this area, pretty close to the firewall, and you'll want to do the same thing with that. Pull it out. Make sure it's clear, red, looks good, not getting real dark. If it's getting real dark, the transmission's getting worn, typically. You can't check that right away. You go back to your oil, wipe it off, pull it back out, make sure it's full. If it's a half a quart low, that's not a big deal. If it's a quart low, people are neglecting it. Make sure your antifreeze bottle is where it's supposed to be. Another thing you can do, when you're under here, any unusual smells, pay close attention to unusual smells. I looked at a Camry about 2 months ago, and as soon as I opened the hood, I smelled antifreeze. Then I looked at the bottle, nothing in it. And I'm like, hey, this car's got a problem. It smells like antifreeze. It was actually running a little rough, too. I think it was actually overheated really bad. I ended up not buying it. Okay, over here, you got your brake master cylinder. Make sure it's full. On this particular car, which is a manual transmission, it's actually in the same spot. I didn't know that when I first looked at this. But the brake fluid and clutch hydraulic fluid are in the same container. Usually, they're in different containers, and they'll be pretty close together. But that needs to be full. Some brake lines there. Everything on this car is pretty good. Washer fluid's a little low. There's some in there, but we'll get back to that when we get inside the car. There's a power steering reservoir. Check that. Make sure it's not low. Look at your serpentine belt. Make sure it doesn't have splits in it. That's not a big negotiation point, but some of those serpentine belts cost $60, $70, $80. So something to think about. And then just look at the overall condition. Is it clean under there, or is it just full of filth? Kind of tells you if somebody took care of it or not. Okay. The next thing you're going to want to do is get inside the car. Preferably you have somebody with you too. That's another thing. Try to bring somebody with you. Even if they don't know a lot about cars, people notice things. Two sets of eyes is better than one. Young kids are enthusiastic. If you're an older person, bring your grandchild, or if they're a teenager or something, or your son or whatever, because they're enthusiastic and want to look at stuff usually. And some of them know more than you think. Anyway, check your lights, your blinkers, your high beams. Check your windshield wipers, your washer. You get in the car and to look at the overall condition, dashboard, seats. Go over on that passenger side and just put your hand on the floor. Make sure you don't feel any dampness. That's the dreaded heater core. And typically, I will not mess with a car that needs a heater core. Then when you get to the point of starting it up, preferably you get to start it cold. I don't like when somebody starts a car and warms it up before I get there. That's a bad sign. But start it up. Look at, if you have oil pressure gauge, look at it. Look at your battery gauge if you have one. Look at any gauges you have and make sure they're registering correctly. Oil pressure is going to be real high cold typically. This is when you check the air conditioning. Make sure it's blowing ice cold, and then check your heat and make sure it's blowing hot. And things that don't matter as much. Windows, make sure they work. Like I say, they don't matter as much because they're not, really part of the longevity of the car. They are things you can negotiate around if a window doesn't work, because typically regulator and motor and all that's, 100, 150 bucks, and you got to do it or pay somebody to do it. See if the stereo works. Another thing that's not a big deal, but you need to, on this particular car, you're going to get in and drive it. Make sure the clutch is grabbing in the right spot. Typically, a few inches off the floor, not real high, not real low. Make sure the shifter feels nice. It goes in and out of gears, no noises. If it's an automatic, make sure it's shifting firmly, not, with a hoopty between gears. Make sure it goes in reverse easy, and immediately, not delayed. Check your horn. I'm probably forgetting something, but anyway, look at the condition of the seats. Let's see, this car, I did this particular car because I could put the roof down and kind of walk around it real easy. I'm not even a convertible fan, but most of these, that's the only way they came. So in this case, you would want to put the convertible roof up and check the condition of that, because that's actually kind of an expensive deal if you got to replace a convertible roof. But most people aren't buying convertibles, especially in the budget category. Let's walk in here and let's do a quick rundown on a motorcycle. Same thing, tires, look for corrosion. This is a Harley, so it's a little different than a lot of the foreign and Japanese bikes. Look at these forks. Feel on them. Put your hands on there. Make sure there's no oily residue. Fork seals go bad. Kind of an expensive thing if you got to pay somebody. If you can, put on the front brake and rock the bike back and forth. Make sure the steering head's relatively tight. That's about all you can do for checking the steering head on a bike while it's on the ground. On this particular bike, you have a dipstick there. And on this bike, you're really supposed to check it hot. So you would do it after a test ride. On a Japanese or most other motorcycles, you have a sight glass where you got to stand the bike up level and look through the sight glass to check the oil. On this bike, you got a transmission dipstick. On most of your other bikes, the engine and transmission oil are together. Not all, but most of them. You can check your brakes real easy. You can see real good there. Same thing with the lights, horn. Look for any leaks. On a Harley, you got a belt. You can kind of check the tension, make sure it doesn't have cracks and damage. Can't even really see it on this bike, but if you lay on the ground, you can get in there and feel the deflection on it. Look around the base of the engine, make sure there's no seepage. Older Harleys would sometimes have those problems, usually the Evo models. I don't think these were real bad about it. I'm not a Harley expert. I'm more of a, I've had a whole bunch of motorcycles and 4 of them have been Harleys. Look at the overall condition of the paint, because these bikes are painted nicer than any other bike, and you really don't want to have to redo it. It can get expensive, especially if you want the same quality that Harley put on. This is an older motorcycle. It's actually 19 years old. but it's in real good shape. Anyway, just check all your lights, blinkers, horn. Take it for a ride. Make sure it doesn't weave and wobble at 60 or 70, because that could mean a number of things on these. Motor mount, steering head, swing arm. A number of those can get expensive if you don't do them yourself. Check your seat. Make sure it doesn't have holes, tears. I mean, they're expensive too. Everything on these bikes are expensive. So you find any damage, negotiate. This is a real low mile bike, so it's pretty good. Usually bikes of this age have more like 25, 30,000 on them. This one has 9. But it's sat a lot, and that causes problems, which I think I've worked through all of them. Little things I had to do because it sat, but I got that little piece of luggage there with it, which was neat. Got a windshield with it too, but I don't like windshields. Anyway, so that's a quick rundown on a motorcycle. I hope this gives you an idea of what we're doing for pre-purchase inspections. If I forgot anything, let me know in the comments, because I'm not an expert. I'm just a guy that's bought a lot of stuff and through trial and error, and I've kind of learned what to look at, and I'm wanting to share it because I think more and more people are wanting to buy older vehicles. A new Mazda like that cost $35,000. That Mazda was 12, and it had 40,000 miles on it when I bought it. A new Harley similar to that, they don't make that chassis anymore, but they have what they call a Super Glide, and it is $16,900. And if you buy it at a dealer, you're not getting it for $16,900. You're probably paying $20,000, $21,000 for it, because they mark them up at the Harley dealers. That was $5,500. And I'm not paying interest, cheap insurance. I mean, I can't even begin to tell you how much money I saved doing this. And the Mazda performs pretty much like a new one. Does it have a TV screen in the dash? Nope. And I don't like TV screens. So for me, that's good. I don't like all the tech. It's just more stuff that goes wrong. And if you think it's me being not tech friendly, look at the reliability ratings on new vehicles. And the fact of the matter is, most of the problems are tech related. And you take your brand new vehicle into the dealer and they can't get the part. It sits there for 2 months. You're still making payments and insurance on it. A regular guy can't fix it. It's got to be re-keyed to the computer when they fix it. You can't even go to your, hometown mechanic anymore. Not after, it started getting real bad, probably 2015, 16 on. The Mazda's a 13, but that particular version came out in 06, and it's pretty much just a carryover. So it doesn't have all the stupid stuff in it. And I say it's stupid stuff. I guess if you like it, it isn't. But I don't care for it. I just prefer a vehicle I can drive, and I'm not doing the tech thing while I drive. I see people doing it, and they're weaving all over the road. Of course, they got lane assist to help with that now. But anyway, I'm getting off on something besides the pre-purchase inspection. So I hope this helped everybody a little bit, and I appreciate the few subscribers I've gotten so far, and I hope some more subscribers subscribe. If you find this information helpful. Anyway, I'm going to probably have another video out in a day or two, and appreciate you watching.